WMOA, AM 1490 and FM 101.3.
Hi, this is Chris Wharf, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk with Roger Mooney, class of 1967, and soon to be inducted into the Marietta High School Athletic Hall of Fame on October 7th. And Roger, just so glad I get a chance to talk to you before, this big night, but now a resident of New Hampshire and everything. It's going to be excited to have you come back to town.
And it'll be exciting to be there. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I've been through, this is going to be the 8th class that gets inducted, and it's always been special. I know that you can go back to where your brother was inducted earlier, but there's a lot of people that you're aware of, that former teammates and everything, and it should be awfully special.
It's going to be, and I'm just so proud to be part of that list. It's quite an honor.
Hey, talk a little bit about, you were a 3-sport athlete, but the big sports were the physical ones. Football player, wrestler, and you excelled at both of those.
I did very well, and I was fortunate. I had good coaches and good training. I love football. I love the contact sport. Wrestling, I kind of fell into by accident. Nick Rahal caught me in the courtyard of the old school, messing around with a friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, knock it off, and by the way, get down to the wrestling practice tonight. I want to talk to you." So that was as a freshman.
That's a pretty nice invite. Looking back, you were one of those offensive, defensive lineman type, and it's so funny today. People think of all the skilled players and everything, but back in the 50s and 60s, that to get up on a wall and everything at Marietta, it almost seemed like you had to be one of those guys in the trenches. That was where everybody kind of shined.
Yes, you're right. And back then, we didn't have a platoon system until my senior year. So if you were a starter, you started on offense, defense, kickoff return, punt return, punting, everything. You hardly ever got a break. So, and in my senior year, in the latter, about halfway through, they changed it to a platoon system.
Okay, all right. I know that everybody listens to all the old timers talk about the COL and the competition and everything, but regardless, Parkersburg was as big a game as it got back then, wasn't it?
It was, and by the way, we were the only team to ever defeat them on their own field, and we beat them 29-0.
Wow!
Senior year.
So that would have been.
Still holds today.
Wow, that's really something, and that was one of your special games on a personal level.
I blocked a punt, and I tackled the guy in the end zone for safety. I couldn't find the ball, or I'd have had a touchdown, but I did get a safety.
Talk a little bit about the wrestling, and is there a way that things have changed over the years? I know the COL was so tough, and everybody, if they just think of Upper Arlington, that was always the nemesis in the school that dominated.
Absolutely. They were in the wrestling my senior year. They came into our league. We didn't, back then too, in wrestling, heavyweight always wrestled last. You were the last match of the evening. And more times than not, I would have to not only win that match, but win it by a pin for us to win the meet. And luckily, I was able to do that in most every occasion.
You guys had a special group there, and I know that a number of individuals made it into the districts and the regionals, and it seemed like on a yearly basis.
Yes, there was, and we had, I was in the districts twice, my junior and senior year. Mike Eichmiller, there were several that were in the districts twice. I think only one guy went to the state. I don't remember who that was. It might have been after I graduated.
You did a little bit of track and field, and I know that I like that sport from the standpoint. I don't want to call it a vacation. You had a lot of work to do, but after football and wrestling, to go out there and throw the shot in the discus and not get hit back had to feel pretty good.
It did, but I just my senior year I took a break and I just wanted to relax before I headed off to college, and so I didn't participate in track my senior year. And maybe I should have, I don't know, but I just got, like you said, I got a little tired and I wanted to take a break. But I enjoyed track. My brother was also a shot and discus thrower. He was a little bit better than I, but I did all right. I scored points for the team. That's the biggest thing that counts.
After high school, you went to Salem, played some football, but boy, the injuries just caught up to you and actually cut your career short.
It did, and I listened to the doctors telling me I would have trouble with my knees if I didn't stop now. I'd be crippled. And as it turns out, I've got a knee replacement anyway, and if I had it to do over again, I would have continued playing.
You know, the one thing that kind of stands out to me, and it's the Mooney name, because I was one of those grade school kids back in the mid-'70s, okay? And you guys were at Putnam. And I mean, I was a Washington Trojan, okay? And my head was on a swivel every time we played you guys. But I remember going into 7th grade and some of the players talking about how much easier our 7th grade practice was than the practices they had at Putnam School.
Yeah, oh yeah. I put them through. We had a great team out there, a great team. Matter of fact, I think a couple of the guys are in the Hall of Fame, or at least one that played out there at Putnam with me and for me.
Mark Geisler.
A funny situation. Yeah, Mark Geisler. Yeah, he was a tough kid. We had a situation where Bill Ross asked me to start that team. I said, yeah, I'll do that. And then he said, here, go raise money now. So we had to go door to door to raise money. And, it was a fun experience.
You found your way into that, and a big part of it was your love of sports and wanting to stay involved. And you're still involved to this day, aren't you?
I am. I still run all the district and state meets for swimming up here in Rhode Island.
Talk about how you got started in that.
Well, my kids all became swimmers. They kind of just hit the water and took off running, and they all were, at some point in their high school career, they were all state champions. And so to watch a swim meet and watch your kids swim 2 or 3 events, it's very boring because there's a lot of time in between that you're doing nothing. So I started out timing and then graduated into being an official and then graduated into being a meet manager. It's just kind of mushroomed. And I love it. I get to meet all kinds of people I wouldn't normally have a chance to meet. And I get to watch a lot of great athletes.
And it is something that you've certainly been recognized for, just your dedication and everything else involved. And as you said, you're still involved in it today.
I am. People always say, are you still there? I said, I'm still here. I still love it.
You got inducted into the Aquatic Hall of Fame, 2010, yes, is that right?
Yes, I did.
So, okay, all right. Pretty phenomenal stuff. Talk about some of the other. I know that one of the other members that's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame was one of your teammates.
Tracy Mead. Yeah, he was, like I said, a hell of a linebacker. To this day, I can still hear him yelling at me, Moon, make me a hole so I can get into the backfield. You know?
You played down in front of him, huh?
I did. I was either nose guard or defensive tackle.
Well, I'm certainly excited for you, and I'm excited to meet you because I've never met you in person, and I missed the induction of your brother, so I'm looking forward to meeting the whole family. And I'm so excited for all of you.
Yeah, me too as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be I'm going to see a lot of people that probably will attend that are interested in the Hall of Fame that I haven't seen in years. It'll be good. So.
Well, it's been my pleasure to talk with you, and congratulations to you and your family on this well-deserved honor.
Thank you, and thank you for your time, and I do appreciate it. And again, you sound a lot like your dad.
All right. And as I said, I'll take that as a compliment every day of the week.
You should. Yeah,
Roger Mooney, class of 1967, to be inducted on October 7th. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.